Okay, I promise, this is going to blow your mind. If it does not, shut me off, never watch my videos again. Twitter admitted today that a larger number of bots, much larger than originally revealed, 50,000 or so is what they said, influenced the US presidential election last year. And about 670,000 Americans were influenced as a result of this bot propaganda. Now, let's take a deep breath. Now, those are big numbers, but you and me, everyday life, it's hard to imagine a Twitter bot influencing the US presidential election. Like, what does it really mean? Let me explain. This became blindingly clear to me about a week ago when a friend of mine, an active Twitter user, he follows another individual, right? I mean, nothing big about that. That individual then messages him back saying, "Thanks, Gore the follow." Let me repeat, thanks, Gore the follow. Not FOR for, but Gore, GOR. And then he follows that up by saying, "Oops, sorry, I meant for." All's good. Except this friend of mine, who has a pretty active brain and an imagination, reaches out to his friend and says, "You know what? Can you do me a favor and follow the same user I just followed?" And so she does that. And the message that comes back is, "Thanks, Gore the follow," followed by, "Oops, sorry, I meant for." Let's pause there. So essentially, the same typo, GOR instead of FOR, hits both these users, followed by, "Oops, sorry, I meant FOR." You must have realized it by now. Yes, it's a bot. So there's a bot who is actively inducing typos in the message. For what effect? You can ask yourself. Well, who has typos? You and me as humans, not bots. So by inducing the typos, it has actually signaled to you and me that there's a human at the other end. This is where we are right now with bots. They have gotten to a level of perfection that they're actually using imperfection to get to you and me. Now, at that point, if this person had not reached out to his friend, he wouldn't have even figured out that there's a bot on the other side. Now, what does this mean? It means in the longer term, the bars, the defenses have already been lowered because he has already taken into consideration that there's human on the other side without that person ever saying, "Hey, I'm a human over here," which would have raised alarm bells. So this is where we are. I mean, we have come to a point right now where bots are getting more and more intelligent. In fact, I would argue if this ratting out process was ever revealed to the machine learning algorithm on the backside, what they would do is look at the QWERTY keyboard and say, "You know what, we have whatever 20 so letters in this thanks for the follow message. We can juxtapose any letter with the adjacent letters on the keyboard so that no two users consecutively will see the same typo." That's nothing. I mean, for a average algorithm, that's like a piece of cake. So there you are. I mean, you can constantly see these machines evolve on the back end side. What recourse do we as humans have? A couple of things. Number one, we need to stay vigilant. Ask 2 questions, ask 3 questions when one would suffice. Educate each other so that we are all aware of what's going on around us. And then ultimately, let's not dismiss everything that we hear out there about saying, "Hey, this is going to overtake the world," or "That's going to happen." Yes, doomsday predictions are always there, but when something like this happens, when you actually see this in action, it's time to take notice and stay more vigilant and talk about it. So this is the first of many things that I call the moral compass. In fact, there's a podcast series on itspmagazine.com that the phenomenal duo of Sean Martin and Marco launched. And I have been hosting about 7 or 8 guests on that podcast last year. If this is something that appeals to you, if you feel that you want to participate in this conversation so that we can all collectively move forward with a much more vigilant and forward-looking frame of mind, reach out to me. We'd be happy to connect with you. Thank you. Bye-bye.